Hey there, everybody. This is Earl Bryant coming at you on a Thursday from the New York City suburbs of Long Island. And it's time once again for Pearls from Earl. This one's going to be a little bit different, which is why I'm wearing glasses. You may have also noticed I'm wearing an S on my chest for a very specific reason. This deals with superheroes, and not just the ones that you talk about or you see in comic books or TV or on the web or in movies. Today's Pearl is called, "This Looks Like a Job for You. It's Time to Be Super." In the dictionary, super is defined as of the highest degree or power. It comes from the Latin, which means above or beyond, and it also means outstanding and exceptional. Now, when most people think of super, they think of superheroes, like those going back to the 1930s, such as Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Or into the 40s when you have Thor, Captain America, Spider-Man, Hulk, and all the different characters from the DC and Marvel universes who have been put in comic books. You see them on TV, you hear about them on the radio, and in movies. And for the most part, people gravitate to them because of their superhuman strength, speed, intelligence, all different kinds of super attributes that make them great and stand out from among everyone else. It's because of these super attributes that they seem to feel the need to wear disguises, to blend in with everyone else, because they don't want to stand out like a sore thumb all the time, and they don't want people to feel threatened by their super potent abilities. It reminds me of a quote, part of which I will share now, from Marianne Williamson, who talked about our deepest fear. She said, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure." Now, many people feel threatened by someone displaying super exceptional abilities because they believe that in some way that person is going to inflict harm. Well, that's not always the case with someone who wants to do good, even though there are people who automatically assume the worst. People might feel threatened, people might feel troubled in the event that such ideas and attributes might necessarily fall into the wrong hands, or people might get the wrong idea and try to serve themselves. But the ironic part is that all these superheroes that we hear about and read about are actually dedicated to doing good for others. The reason I'm wearing my glasses right now is because men like Superman, the Man of Steel, wear an ordinary disguise as Clark Kent so they can blend in among other people and not feel threatened, and people not feel threatened by them until such time as there's extreme danger, when they shed their disguise and they become who they truly are, so that they can handle that danger and they can save people from harm. And this is what happens with a lot of superheroes. That's the general persona of a superhero. They display their greatness for the benefit of all mankind, or so the saying goes. Now, several years ago, there was a movie by Pixar called The Incredibles, where the general public turned on the supers and told them in so many words that if you don't become ordinary and give up your super abilities, you have to leave us because we feel threatened by you, we don't appreciate all the damage you inflict, all these different types of things, because that was the general attitude at that time in that story, that people who were super were more of a threat and more of a curse than a blessing. And that is why it would appear, from what I have seen, that many of these superheroes wear their disguises. They disguise their true identity behind a mask, per se. And the mask is usually ordinary dress, ordinary speech, ordinary persona, where they blend in amongst the people they serve. So they try to fit in some way until their super attributes are required. Now, having followed these superheroes since I was a kid back in the day, I won't say how far back, I will just say that it was before the days of cyberspace, before the days of satellite dishes, and even before the days of cable. I'm not going to tell you any more than that. I think you can figure it out. But having observed all of these characters throughout the years, superheroes, superheroines, the super serious ones and even the super silly ones, which go all the way back to, let's say, Underdog, I did notice some similarities. And I think I touched on one of them just briefly, the fact that they all have secret identities, which they use to blend in among the crowd. Their true self remains hidden from public view, and their true self is usually the exact polar opposite of their disguise, in such a way that if the true selves were revealed, people who see them on an everyday basis would never believe that they were that hero. It's just like Spider-Man and Peter Parker are exact opposites. Nobody would ever suspect that they are the same person. And in fact, I saw an episode of Batman several years back where one of Batman's arch villains, Two-Face, happened to know Bruce Wayne personally and made this remark when someone tried to expose Batman's true identity and said point blank, "I know Bruce Wayne. If Bruce Wayne is Batman, then I'm the Queen of France." The point being made that the alter ego is so polar opposite of the actual disguise that nobody could possibly believe that they're one and the same person. Now, there is something else that needs to be mentioned at this point, and it's this. Your true heroic self, the one that is hidden as a superhero, is actually there for a purpose. And I will say this, while I'm thinking of it, that superheroism does not just exist in the comic world. It exists in the real world. There are superheroes all around us. And a lot of them display their heroism on a regular basis. And yes, I'm talking about military. Yes, I'm talking about police and fire and emergency personnel and everyone who serves the public. But I'm also talking about the people looking at me right now. Because whether you realize it or not, you have a superhero or a superheroine on the inside of you. And despite the fact that there might be some people in your midst who feel threatened by your super abilities, by your exceptional attributes, your true talents were not meant to be hidden away and forever locked away and kept safe from people who feel threatened by your excellence and your greatness. Because whether you realize it or not, your true heroic self is meant to be displayed for the benefit of people on this earth who desperately need what you have to offer. And more than likely, they are people that you don't even know yet. They might even be people you haven't met yet. The ones who are familiar with what you do with your everyday self might not appreciate your super strength and your super character, but the people who don't know you yet are clamoring for it. They're looking for it. They're begging for it. They're pleading for it. They want somebody, somehow, some way to come along and to help them in their hour of distress, in their hour of need. And that could very well be you. And even though your everyday persona might be totally opposite and totally different from the real superhero and superheroine and super you that resides on the inside, the super great, awesome, fantastic, exceptional you is necessary. It is needed. You might not know where it's needed right now, but the point of this whole talk is that it is needed. It is necessary. So don't be surprised if one day, if not right now, in the very near future, you hear about a cry for help. You hear about someone who desperately needs what you have to offer. And like Superman, like Batman, like Spider-Man, like a whole host of other superheroes, men and women, you're called to spring into action. And instead of sliding on a pole, instead of going into a phone booth, and instead of whipping off your glasses and getting out of your everyday disguise and getting into character, you're going to wind up saying, this looks like a job for me. Because it is. That is today's Pearl from Earl. I hope you got some value from it, and if you did, please like, share, subscribe, pass this on to someone you believe can get some value from it. And if you want to know more, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll share with you information that you can use to become your superhero self, the true you that's meant to be. That's all I have for right now. Hope you got some value from it. And until next time, when I see you right back out there, I'm saying take care, be well, be super, and make it a fantastic 2019. Bye for now.